Good morning, Taiwan, and thank you for sharing your day with us. I am Louisa here to keep you informed and entertained. 欢迎收看 Louisa 报报，每天给你最新奇、最有趣的新闻。First, in France, a terror investigation is underway while thousands of mourners stage a silent march in Paris to remember the 4 victims that were shot dead by a gunman at a Jewish school in broad daylight in Toulouse on Monday. Calling it a national tragedy, French President Nicolas Sarkozy has vowed to bring the men responsible to justice while declaring the highest level of terrorism alert in the southwestern France. More than 120 investigators are currently involved in the manhunt. 针对法国发生的犹太学校枪击案，总统 Sarkozy 承诺一定要抓到凶手。另外，也有数千位民众走上街头为罹难者默哀。
The scene of a shooting outside a Jewish school in the southwestern French city of Toulouse, where at least 4 people were killed on Monday, including 3 children. French President Nicolas Sarkozy vowed that the killer would be caught and said investigations would look at similarities with the killing of 3 soldiers earlier this month in 2 separate incidents.
Nous sommes interpellés.
We are struck by the similarities between the modus operandi of today's drama and those last week. Even if we have to wait to have more elements from the scientific police to confirm this hypothesis.
De la police scientifique pour confirmer cette hypothèse.
2 of the soldiers killed last week were Muslim, while 1 was of Caribbean descent.
Tout doit être mis en œuvre.
Everything must be done for the killer to be stopped and to be held accountable for his crimes, so that there are no other victims.
Pour qu'il n'y ait pas d'autres victimes.
A Toulouse prosecutor said the gunman killed a 30-year-old Hebrew teacher, his 2 children aged 3 and 6, and another child. A 17-year-old was also shot and is in hospital for treatment. Prosecutors have opened anti-terrorism investigations into all 3 of the recent attacks.
And in Morocco, following the death of a 16-year-old girl, demonstrators consisted of mostly women are rallying for change in Moscow's rape laws, which allow a rapist to marry his victims to avoid jail time. In many cases, underage victims are forced to marry their attackers to protect the family's honor. 在 Morocco 被定罪的性侵犯将面临5到10年的刑责，但是他们有一条法律允许性侵犯可以跟受害者结婚，以免除刑责。但是在人权团体的抗议之下，现在政府同意将会修改这条法律。
Protesters in the Moroccan capital, Rabat, call for an end to legislation that allows rapists to marry their victims. The demonstration was sparked by the suicide of 16-year-old Amina El Filali, who was in exactly that position. She swallowed rat poison last week after 6 months of marriage to the man who attacked her. Amina's sister says it's time for change.
We want a new law. We also want an end to rape in Morocco, but if this law is not repealed, this would be impossible. We want a law that punishes the criminal and protects the rights of Moroccan women.
Human rights campaigners say the controversial marriage law was created solely to avoid damage to the reputation of a rape victim's family. Such victims in Morocco carry a stigma of shame and dishonor. They're often suspected by police and the courts of consenting to sex, and they get little help to rebuild their lives.
And now, turning to entertainment news, the auction house in Beverly Hills is drawing fans of Whitney Houston, Marilyn Monroe, and John F. Kennedy. Prior to the official sale on March 31st and April 1st, bidders are getting a sneak peek of the items belonging to these Hollywood legends. 已故歌手 Whitney Houston 跟演员 Marilyn Monroe 的私人物品最近要被拍卖了，其中还包括 Whitney Houston 在电影《终极保镖》里穿的礼服。
Whitney Houston's gown from The Bodyguard, Marilyn Monroe's gold money clip, and one of John F. Kennedy's iconic rocking chairs are just some of the items up for bid by Julien's Auctions. The public exhibition going on this week in Beverly Hills is a preview for the sale happening at the end of the month. Highlights include a collection of Marilyn Monroe photos, costumes, and a money clip she gave to her makeup artist, Alan Whitey Snyder.
And it's a money clip that she wanted him to make her up if she was to pass away before he passed. And he said, sure, drop the body off while it's still warm and I'll do it. And she gave him this money clip. It's a 14-karat gold Tiffany money clip. And she said, dear Whitey, that's his name, while I'm still warm, Marilyn.
Up for auction are several of Whitney Houston's dresses, as well as jewelry and costumes from The Bodyguard.
There's one grey velvet gown that she wore at the 38th annual Pre-Grammy Award hosted by Clive Davis back in 1996. And that's significant because that was the event that Whitney was planning to attend that night that sadly she passed away.
Items range from a gown worn by Princess Diana in 1992 at a Spencer House reception to an estimated $70,000 rocking chair from John F. Kennedy. Nolan said that the auction's total merchandise is valued at $1.5 million.
And there are no hard feelings between the ladies beyond the movie, with Julia Roberts as Evil Queen and Lily Collins as Snow White in Mirror Mirror. Both Roberts and Collins were at the red carpet event, along with other cast members, to promote for their fantasy film directed by Tarzan Singh. Julia Roberts 跟 Lily Collins 最近出席他们的新片《魔镜魔镜》的首映会，跟大家分享这部新改编的白雪公主故事跟经典版有什么不一样。
At the event, Lily Collins, daughter of English musician Phil Collins, shared her enjoyment of filming the movie.
It was a created world every day where I just couldn't believe that I was in. I mean, Tarsem made a snow globe of magic on set every day, and we had the sets there and the props and everything, and the costumes were huge, and they made you feel like you were truly a part of that world. So it was like being in a dream every day.
In this modern version of the story, the evil queen schemes for control of the kingdom after her husband, Snow White's father, dies. Following the king's death, Snow White is banished to the forest after her beauty wins the heart of the prince that the treacherous queen wishes to marry. In the forest, Snow White met the 7 dwarfs who inspired her to grow strong and to take back her kingdom.
We didn't want to do a caricature of an animated princess. We really wanted to make her a real girl that girls could relate to today, and to make her some sort of a fighter physically and emotionally, because in today's world, the girl saves the boy as much as the boy saves the girl. And I think it takes a strong man to accept help from a woman, but I think it also says a lot about today's world where girls have the power to do anything as well.
British actor Sean Bean, who plays the king, says being a part of the film was a nice escape from his other dark and villainous roles.
It's great for me because I'm usually involved with quite heavy stuff, heavy-duty stuff. So to coming on this show and on the set, it was so funny, and the director Tamsin Singh, he was so light-hearted about things, so it became infectious, and it was a lovely film to do, a lovely film to make. It's so full of fun and laughter. So it was very refreshing for me. As I said, I've played heavy-duty roles before, so this is a welcome relief for me.
Julia Roberts was all smiles at the beginning of the premiere. However, she stopped talking to reporters after they asked her what she thought about George Clooney's recent arrest at the Sudanese embassy in Washington, D.C. Mirror Mirror is set to be released in the U.S. on March 30th and in Taiwan theaters on April 4th.
Here I was having such a good day. Everyone has magic.
And Clive Owen is also making public appearances to give his new film Intruders a push. At the New York premiere, the actor, who had to brush up on his Spanish while shooting the flick, talks about how the movie will give you more than just screams. 英国演员 Clive Owen 最近尝试新的戏路，演出惊悚片。故事是有关2个在不同国家的小孩，居然每天晚上都做同样的噩梦。 Despite living in different corners of the world, 2 children are seeing or dreaming the same thing. Clive Owen, who takes on the main role in Intruders, refers the film as a psychological thriller.
It's much more of a psychological thriller than it is a horror film, really. It's one of the things I really liked about the script. I thought it was, it's very spooky and it's very scary at times, and but it's all the fear and all the sort of. It comes from within. It comes from the people in the movie.
Director Juan Carlos Fresnadillo harnesses the vulnerability and powerful imagination of children in Intruders, which will hit theaters on March 30th in the U.S.
face and not give up. He would wait for the right moment to rip off the girl's face.
He was there. He was attacking my daughter.
There was no one there, John.
So you think I'm crazy, do you?
And that's it for today's edition. I am Louisa Lee, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Meanwhile, stay with CTS for the latest weather update and for more top stories.